Excellent.
I think I might have remembered why I didn't use it. I think it was something to do with the way it centered the bars, if you see it. I mean, like I wanted it, if it was on one, I wanted it centered at one, and I couldn't get it to look like what I wanted to. But maybe I just wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit strange how it does that on the graphs. I've killed something in my VI now. But yeah, essentially that's what I ended up with.
Okay, so you've done it with the 0.5. Does that mean you offset it effectively? Is that what you've done that for?
Yeah, so my data ends up at what? Well, the actual data points are at the integer numbers.
Yeah.
But to actually show it on the graph, you have to start at 0.5 and end at 9.5 because it puts things into continuous bins, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
did I do the wrong challenge?
No, there's two, Matt. There's two.
Oh, okay. I was confused there. I was like, what's this Benford's Law thing?
Yeah, there's a couple. Well, thanks guys for sending them in first of all, and also thanks Craig for your input there as well. That's also really useful. Right, let me jump back to sharing then, and I can carry on. You guys see that? Yeah. Okay, so the second challenge was basically related to sorting string data within a 1D array. But the slight twist was that we wanted to be able to sort by the last character in the string of each element. So that, and then chuck it into a histogram basically. And then a kind of extension of this, which I think confused a few people. I maybe need to have made it a bit clearer, but the extension was effectively to be able to sort the data. So obviously that doesn't apply to the histogram, but if you've got a table or something that you can display the data in, being able to select how that data is sorted, whether it's by the first, second, third column or whatever. So again, obviously some common elements to this that weren't too different between the different solutions, but I think that probably again the most uncommon part was the bit where we're counting the number of occurrences of each character. So effectively this is Leah's one, and the main part of it really is of how she's done the sorting is basically just to switch the strings around in the array, sort them, then switch them back, and then that gives you the sort of sorted array. This function is pretty nifty. And then all she's done to get the counts is basically strip the the final letter off of the strings, and then go through the alphabet using the ASCII conversion, and then comparing each element of the alphabet with the array, and then using that's a pretty cool little way of doing it, is using the Boolean logic to convert to numerics and then sum it up for each one. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then Charlie's again getting some code reuse in, which is nice to see, and effectively using a very similar approach, well, exactly the same approach, just changing how the data that's coming into it. So I won't go through that again, but it's good to see code reuse. Don't see it very often. And then Cabal put in a response to this one, and he's used maps as well, which is cool. So effectively what he's done is, this for loop effectively creates a map of all the letters in the alphabet. This for loop basically brings together a cluster of all of the last characters in the data set, and then it sorts it, and then it basically whips through them and looks for it in the map. If it exists, he increments the count. If it's not found, then he creates an element in the map. So that was to handle other languages potentially, if you were looking at sort of Chinese or whatever other language you might be considering. And then what comes out of that is a little for loop to pull out the counts, and then that's chucked into the histogram. So again, that's pretty cool. And the next one is Matt's, and for this one I need to share because Matt's doing a presentation on user interfaces, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing and share again. Yeah, because Matt's doing a presentation on user interface, I thought I'd show you what he sent forward. So I've got, this is his VI here, and it looks pretty sweet. I really like it actually. So we can select the file up here, and he's managed to handle XLS as well as text files, which is nifty. So he chucked that in, and then it drops it in for you. So you've got all the data down this side, and then he's got his histogram across here. And he's also got the ability to change the plot color, which I think is quite nifty as well. So we've got that in there. So that's awesome. Really like that.
And it resizes.
And it resizes. Look.
Oh,
Nice. Lovely. Look at that. Bro. Yeah, so getting back to his code. Again, he used maps, so very similar to Cabal's approach, in that he's bringing in the data here, and the maps basically map contains the alphabet, and he's incrementing the count for each one. So he's using the add and modify, which is the alternative way to which Cabal used, and then you've got your map and your string data out. And then I wanted to share this because I thought this was pretty cool. Let me just go back a couple of slides. So to get this on here, Matt's created like an image, a picture. That's a picture control, and he's basically overlaid it on the graph. So I wanted to just quickly share how he'd done that. Well, roughly speaking, anyway. So this is the code that he'd used to put that together and pull everything into a nice, neat graph. So yeah, I mean, I think if everyone's happy, I'll probably, if people want them, I can share the stuff afterwards as well if people are happy to share it. So yeah, nice one. That was a good one. And then there was obviously the part 2 that I mentioned about sorting. So this was Leah's approach to that. So effectively, she's got the 3 columns were name, age, and country of birth. So she's got an enum to enable you to select that, and you can also select whether it's ascending or descending. And she's also built in first and last character sorting as well. So basically what she did, based on what you selected, it either did sort by number or sort by character or alphabet. And this was the sort by number approach. So effectively she pulls the age data out, determines whether it's last or first, and then does some stuff to handle that, and then adds the number into here. Yeah, and then effectively builds it all up towards the end. And the similar kind of approach for the country of birth, and the name is a bit simpler because it's just a string, so you don't have to do any manipulation before you do your sorting. Yeah, and that's pretty cool. And then Cabal's second part was kind of similar, I guess, that he's basically pulling out the column to sort, sticking it into a cluster and sorting that cluster, and then doing his counts via the maps again. So same approach in terms of the counts, and that approach applies across all of the different columns that you can select, basically. So yeah, nice and neat. Quite like the maps. So this is Charlie's response to the second bit, and he's got a really awesome UI. Which so for people who didn't see this when he shared it, this is actually a radio button control that he's just formatted to look completely different. So you can sort of click on these headers to sort the column. So, and he's got ascending and descending as well. So I thought that was really neat, and a cool use of the radio button control as well. So his code basically was that he chucked it all into a cluster with all the data for each element of the array in a cluster, and then builds the array of that cluster. And then depending on what you're sorting by, it will pull out the relevant. It basically sticks the relevant value to the top of the cluster, sorts it, does your descending, ascending, and then compiles it all back together again, and then sticks it back into the indicator. So yeah, so that's a nice, neat solution in that one as well. Oops. Okay, so that was the last one there. So again, thanks very much for sending those through. Has anyone got any comments or thoughts or feedback on those ones?
Hi everyone, I just had a quick one. Sorry.
Hello.
I thought Charlie's was pretty impressive in the way that the UI looked pretty finished and stuff. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Charlie.
Yeah, it does look
Cheers.
sweet.
Thank you.
In fact, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it up. I'm going to get it up now. Hold on.
I missed the first one. Was Leah's there as well? Sorry, I missed that.
On the first challenge or the
part 2.
Yeah, I think was it. Did I miss it?
I think I was late into the party. Sorry.
Yeah, she was. Good. Got me sweating there for a bit, Cabal. Let me quickly grab this up so that we can show that because it was cool.
Just while Chris does that, I guess, out of interest, did anybody think about using SQLite for the final part?
Yeah.
Because I think you'd actually save yourself a lot of hassle by just sticking it in the database, from what I can gather, because it's basically built for that sort of thing.
Text.
Is that one right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Bedford's Law.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be why. Yeah. So as you can see, it's come in and it's sorted it by the name column. So I can click on that again and it will sort it descending. And then switching between these does the same thing. So I think that's wicked. It's a great way of kind of making use of a function that doesn't typically do that, and also incorporate some pretty nice nice functionality as well. Are these silver, Charlie, or what?
So these were NXG, but because it got back saved into 2017, I think it's
I like it.
Kind of messed with the format of them.
Yeah, I like it. Awesome. Any other comments?